Hello everybody, how you doing tonight? I'm getting ready to take some of these boneless shoulder pork ribs, and I'm going to pop them in the thing I don't use very often, the Instapot tonight. But I played a little too long today. Time is short, and so we're going to dig that out and get that going. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take these out of the package. Put them on this plate and get them ready. We're going to put a dry rub on them. We're going to add some beef broth to our Instapot. And then we'll cook these for about 45 minutes or so. And tonight I think I'm just going to go ahead and pop a couple of ears of corn and maybe baked potatoes in the microwave for our sides. Maybe just one or the other. I'm not sure what we'll do yet tonight. Corn is easy to do too, but we'll deal with that later because this is going to take 45 minutes to get going. So first things first, as they say. So I have a lot of things that we have bought from Azure Standards. So I keep the beef broth because it comes, of course, in bulk. So I keep it in a jar. It's been around for a while, but it doesn't really go bad. I've already made my 3/4 cup worth of broth, and I'm going to just go ahead and dump it in the bottom now. Easy peasy. Maybe I should rinse that out a little bit better, but I didn't. We'll do that now and get all the good stuff out, because we want some rich flavor in here for sure. Our recipe calls for, okay, now that I have my recipe back, our recipe calls for a tablespoon of brown sugar. So I keep mine in an airtight container. Helps it to not dry out as much. We're gonna do a teaspoon of salt, and I still like my Redmond sea salt the best. I need to go get a bigger container of it, but this is what I have tonight, so we'll make it work, maybe. Little plastic thing does not want to stay down. A tablespoon of our salt. Oh, excuse me, teaspoon. Teaspoon of salt. We also need a teaspoon of onion powder, which again, this came from Azure Standards, so I've got my own handy dandy little container I can just refill when I need to. A teaspoon of garlic powder. And a teaspoon of cumin. A teaspoon of paprika. And because sometimes we just have to live on the edge a little bit and kick things up just a little notch, we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. And I'm going to take and just kind of whisk this together, especially with brown sugar, because it's kind of like it's to be sticky and stuff. We want to have it all mixed well so we don't have just one bite that's got all the flavor of one thing in it. And boy, is my brown sugar a little lumpy today. Does not want to break up as nicely as I would like it to, even with my little whisk. I'm just going to shake some of this on with a spoon for every piece. I'm going to rub it into the meat. Try breaking up those brown sugar lumps a little bit more. I don't have many left, but I have a few. This recipe actually called for 3 pounds of these ribs. I don't have quite that much. It came out to like 2.38 or something like that in that package, but it'll be fine. The only difference is maybe a little extra seasoning for the amount of meat we have or whatever, but I don't think that's going to hurt a thing at all. I am in the kitchen, so a little mess on my stove is to be expected because it happens every time I'm in the kitchen. It's a good thing, I guess, I know how to clean up after myself, because it needs to be done on a regular basis. It would be nice to be able to have somebody else to clean up after me when I'm cooking. That would be a treat. Alright, I'm actually going to pull this off. So we've got our beef broth in the bottom of our pan. My hands are already icky anyhow, so I'm just going to set these in here. That way they don't slip out of the tongs anyhow and go splish splash and broth everywhere. Smells really good already. Hopefully it's going to taste really good as well. One that's not going to fit down in that broth quite as well as I'd like it to. I was trying to get them all kind of flat, but I got one on the edge here, which it'll be fine. So I have them all stuffed here in the bottom. And then the last thing we're going to add is our half cup of barbecue sauce on the top. Alright. So all this is going to go into our Instapot now on high for 45 minutes. And then we're going to let it do a natural release. So we'll be back in about 45 minutes. Maybe I might actually let it do its release first. So roughly an hour. See you then. Okay, everybody. Our ribs are done. Our thing has already depressurized. So I'm going to go ahead and pull our lid off. And pull these out. Oof. Okay. Well, they are plenty well enough done because they are falling apart on me already. Oh, these are all done. Now, I have put a couple of ears of corn in the microwave for, because I think my microwave's getting old and needs to be replaced. I've done them for about 7 minutes right now. Normally, if you do about 2.5 minutes per ear of corn, flip them, and then do another 2 or 2.5, that's more than plenty. I left the husk on. To me, it's more simpler that way. I'm going to go grab those. We'll cut the husk off and I'll show you that. Okay, we have our corn out. It is very, very warm. These ones in particular, they didn't leave us a whole lot of bottom part here to cut out or cut off. So we're just going to do the best we can to cut a little more off. It makes it easier to peel if you can do that. You can get right to the bottom of that. And then your husk just comes right off, silk and all. You have a beautifully clean piece of extremely warm corn, and it is perfectly beautifully cooked. So that'll be quite delicious, I think. Putting mine all into this tonight. So there is our corn, hot, fresh out of the microwave. So much faster than boiling it the way we used to do. Shuck it and boil it in the water and all that kind of stuff. And to me, the flavor stays so much better this way. So I hope you enjoy. Have a good night.